haven't done a lot of stuff you're supposed to do. You haven't seen a psychologist. You haven't seen a dietitian. I don't have any clearance letters from you. You've been going at this a long way. You made the weight. Did you not think you were going to get to this point?
Boom, bam. So, even though Tina made weight, Dr. Proctor could not approve her for surgery. And as you saw right there, it's because she wasn't doing all the other things that she needed to do. And these are the things that are always so crucial to be touched on, that just because you make weight, it doesn't mean you're going to be approved if you haven't done all the extras like seeing a psychologist and the whole shebang, depending on who you are. Because of course, different people, different effects. With Tammy Slayton, we saw yesterday that she had to go see multiple people just for her to get approved. So all the way from a psychologist to a heart therapist to a lung something, there was a whole heap of madness going on. But that's because, of course, she's so far gone with so many complications, they had to make sure that the surgery was something that was possible. Tina obviously hasn't got as much, but either way though, she completely neglected those responsibilities. Now, Tina does go on to say the reason why is because she's been too caught up with her own stuff going on, that she was just tunnel vision on one go while she had other things happening. Which, listen, I understand, but I hope these other things aren't things that are going to end up pretty much derailing her off her actual journey. She's made weight, so now if I'm her, I'm going to continue losing more weight until I finally get approved, whilst I'm also doing all the other little bits that I have to do as well. But listen, before we get into it, ladies and gentlemen, please do start off by hitting that subscribe button as well as smashing the like button. But also at the same time, don't forget, I do have the full episode on my Patreon account where I reacted to the full thing without me having to obviously chop it up into small little chunks. I can react to the whole thing. You guys get to watch it as well. But with that being said, let's see exactly what went down.
My weight loss, because I'm more focused on these other things, and I could possibly gain the weight back. And that is very scary for me because I don't want to have to go through it all over again.
Key two words there. Was it 2 words or more? Either way, the key thing she said there is, I don't want to have to go through all of it again. Again, yeah, 2 words. Again. Here's the thing, you don't have to. And like I said before, as long as she keeps her head in the game and she continues on this journey, she'll be fine. But of course, Tina is referring to the fact that she's got other problems within her marriage because her partner wants her to kick Meghan out of the house and also her fiance, because clearly they are taking too much room in the house and the house is becoming way too compact. Okay, it's becoming way too claustrophobic, and I can completely understand where the husband obviously wants to have his house back and wants to have his wife back as well, rather than have a house with 2 people that don't need to be there and 2 people who basically bring nothing to the table, and most importantly, someone that's always interfering their own time together, and that's of course Meghan. So I do understand with her talking about other things going on, but at the end of the day, the eye has to be on the prize, and if you've got distractions, you need to find a way to get rid of those distractions so you can get to the goal that you need to get to for the benefit of yourself. And also, let's not forget, in last week's episode, Tina spoke highly about finally putting herself first rather than putting herself behind everybody else. Well, it's time to do that.
248 pounds.
Holy crap.
How about it?
That's the 200 mark.
That's a
So Vanessa has now lost an extra 55.5 pounds. And the reason why this is so crucial, because obviously she started off around the 400s, she's now on 248. And the reason why this is so crucial is because she is on the journey of finally getting her skin removal, or at least that is what is a part of her next journey when it comes to what she wants to get done next. And it is good. And you know what? One thing that I do like about this show is that we're actually going through certain in-depth processes that we don't see on shows like My 600 Pound Life, you know? And I think that's the benefit of 1,000 Pounds Best Friends. And to be fair, I think it's also the benefit that we've had on this show rather than what we've had on 1,000 Pound Sisters. But at the same time, the journeys have been different compared to 1,000 Pound Sisters compared to 1,000 Pound Best Friends. So I do understand it going around a little bit different. But My 600 Pound Life, I feel like they really need to upgrade that show and, you know, start to go a little bit more in depth with other aspects as well, rather than waste like 30 minutes, 40 minutes of them just talking about a backstory and other mumbo jumbo that's just irrelevant. But anyway, we continue.
I'd like to see you in the 180-pound range before we start considering skin removal surgery. But I think the thing to do is let me get you some names of some really good body.
So of course, even though Vanessa's lost a significant amount of weight and she's around pretty much, what did I say, 248, he wants her to get to 180. So what? That's an extra 60 pounds. Oh wait, let me do a math real quick. 80 pounds. Oh crap, why is my math going a bit dodgy right now? Like 70 pounds. Yes. He's losing another extra 70 pounds. Yes. around that 6 to 8. Yeah. I'm really good at maths. Why am I like 6 to 8? Isn't it? Yeah. Either way, though, she needs to lose a range of around an extra 60 to 80 pounds, okay, before she can obviously have skin removal, which makes sense. Now, at first, I was like, oh, that's that. I hope that doesn't hinder her, you know. But at the same time, though, she now has the option to shop around for obviously people who can do skin removal. Do skin removal, which is good because this is a process that you don't want to rush. This is a surgery that you want to make sure that you go to the right person. Despite the fact that the network will pay for it regardless, though, if you know what I mean. But it is nice to actually see a journey where someone actually goes the full way. Because most of the time when we have these TV shows, we don't always see the full journey for everyone. For some people's journey is just weight loss and that's it. Some people's journey is weight loss and then also some skin removal. So it's going to be quite interesting to see that obviously happen if Vanessa gets there. And right now, I hope that she will. But my only concern with Vanessa is that we know that she's not necessarily one of the most nicest people to watch in terms of her attitude and in terms of the way she carries herself for the most part. And if we go back to Angela Deem, remember what happened with Angela Deem? She was a complete a-hole at the very beginning, but then once she had not lost the weight, but once she'd paid for the weight to be removed and the boobs to be added in, she went from being an a-hole to a complete asshole, if you know what I mean. So I really hope that being slimmer isn't really going to then make Vanessa become this person who thinks that she's now the bee's knees. She now thinks that, you know, she's the you can't touch. Basically the Angela Deem version, you know what I mean? So that's the only thing that I really do worry about, because the grand scheme of it is that with her, she wants to lose weight because she wants to feel normal. And in the last episode, we saw her get on the ball, okay? And she did it because it was a way for her to feel normal, and she was really excited about it. And she did it in such a great way, which is fantastic. But she also spoke about how this is going to give her even more confidence to obviously find a man to actually want to be with her, which is also, again, a good thing. But it all matters about how you're going to go about it. If she goes about it in an arrogant way or in a way that just isn't appealing, really and truly, all this weight loss for her may end up feeling as if it was pointless, because she's still in a position where she is a single mother and nobody wants to have her. But she needs to understand, though, that the weight loss is only one process of that. It is your attitude that is always going to matter the most. But let's not get it twisted, though. Let's not get it twisted, though. Just because you're slim, it doesn't mean that you are in a position to find someone. And just because you are plus size, it doesn't mean that you are not in a position to find someone. People can still find someone to love them and look after them at any size, because really and truly, it comes down to who you are as a person, not necessarily who you are as a whole. But of course, that's another conversation we don't need to dive into, because of course, I can understand the layers behind that. But anyway, we continue.
Okay.
So the kids, like Aiden and Catherine, are sharing a room right now, and they're at each other's throats constantly. We need to separate them, but we don't have the extra space because...
I'll finish with the rest of that sentence so I don't hit a copyright, you know what I'm saying? Because Meghan is still living here with her partner. And this is the thing, you know, Tina has to really step up and be that mother. The mother that you know, she claims to be and all that kind of stuff. And it is very, very important that she does actually find a way to... No. It is very important that she puts her children over Meghan. That is just it. It's one thing that her husband's complaining about, which again, she should be putting her husband over Meghan anyway. But the fact is, though, you've got kids who are now sharing a room who shouldn't be sharing a room, because you've got a house that's big enough for your kids to have different rooms. At the end of the day, if Meghan and her partner needed help for a few months, all right, cool, no worries. But this has been way long overdue. Meghan was living with her last season, and then we're moving on to this season, and they also still live in there as well. And the crazy thing is that Meghan is looking to get married to her husband now to her fiance. I'm assuming throughout this season. But here's the thing: if Meghan has the money to go and get married, well, why don't she use that money to actually leave and get an apartment with her partner? And to be honest with you, I don't understand how two adults can be living under someone else's roof, but neither one of them can't but both of them can't have an income that brings them both together to be able to afford to live somewhere. Like, we got Vanessa living by herself with kids, for goodness sake, you know what I mean? So to be honest with you, man, like, it's quite jarring that it's taken Tina this long to realize that she needs to kick Meghan out. And also, Meghan is just basically taking the piss. That's it.
Because of my skin rubbing together and hitting my legs. The yeast that's up in between your rolls that stays there and causes rashes and causes it to burn and itch. And then as you're walking, you got your fat roll constantly hitting your...
Damn, oh, that sounds hella painful. But of course, obviously, right now they're doing the 5K walk. The 5K walk is something that was recommended by Dr. Proctor for Ashley to do. Actually, no, for Tina to do. And then Tina, of course, invited the rest of the girls to come with her. So obviously right now they're doing that, but as you can see, Vanessa's expressing how much it is an irritation for her to be walking with such loose skin everywhere because, of course, you've got the yeast, which is just must not be a great thing to have around your body, do you know what I mean? But also you got the friction and whatnot, you got the chafing going on. I can't imagine obviously how sore her skin is at this point in time, but I feel like when people are going for a weight loss journey, you know, always be open-minded that your skin may become really loose, that you may need to actually have skin removal. And I think the reason why it's a crucial thing is because some people have this mindset that I'll lose weight and I'll be fine. But at the end of the day, losing the weight isn't always going to be the result. Sometimes when you lose weight, you're going to have skin removal for the better. Well, I say have to, but I say have to because, to be honest, if I was in that position, I know that I would want to have the skin removal, because why would I want to have excess skin lingering around my body? It doesn't make any sense. I mean, I hear some people say, oh, the reason why I've never had skin removal, and if this is too touchy for you, that's a you problem, because I'm saying exactly how I see it, you know what I'm saying? But when people say the reason why I keep my loose skin is because it's a token, I see it as a trophy, it's a reminder of my journey. I'm sorry, but if you get skin removal, you get scars, right? Why can't the scars be the reminder of your journey? Why can't they be your token? Why can't they be the trophy? You know what I'm saying? I'd rather have scars, you know what I mean, okay, rather than have skin that's always flapping around and making things hard for me. You know, whenever I put clothes on, it's always a chore. You know, sometimes, you know, if you're in a position where, like Vanessa here, you're getting yeast or whatever is going on or whatever, like, understand this, skin is not supposed to overlap each other. Our skin is not supposed to be laying each other like this, you know what I mean, okay? At the end of the day, look at it this way, right? You get a carpet, you put a carpet on the floor. If you don't touch the part, if you put a carpet on the floor, right? If you put a carpet on top of a carpet, and whenever you hoover, you never ever hoover underneath that carpet, that rug, okay? Let's say you leave for a year, 2 years, however long, you come back and then you finally lift off that rug or whatever, you think it's going to be looking pretty underneath there? Going to be looking still horrible. Do you see what I'm saying, okay? It's like, for example, when we have our sofas, we don't move a sofa for a while. Once you finally move it, you start to see bare things underneath. Now, of course, it doesn't always result in molds or fungus or whatever it could be, but it's always going to be what? Dirty. And because it's going to be dirty, it's always going to create bacteria. So to be honest with you, when I see this promotion of people and this delusion of I have loose skin to promote this and that, it's the biggest BS, because your skin is not supposed to overlap each other. Nothing in this world is supposed to stick on top of something. You know what I mean? Because if it did, then why do we have things like cleaning? You know what I mean? If we did, then why do we have sprays like anti-flipping disinfectants and all that kind of stuff? You know what I mean? They're there for a reason, you know what I mean? Like, honestly, man. So when I see that stuff, I sit there and I say to myself, I say to myself, to be honest with you, you know, you can reference yourself as someone that was obese, but you can't call me you can't tell me that you're obese now. It makes no sense to my life. But anyway, ladies and gentlemen, that's just a little rant right there. If it touched your nerve and annoyed you, that's a you problem. I'm just telling you the facts. Skin is not supposed to overlay each other. Come on now, man. How many times have we seen episodes of 600 Pound Life and we've seen them having to get their skin cleaned thoroughly underneath each and every crease? Vanessa, I like the fact that she's basically, you know, really giving us a somewhat detailed explanation of the feeling behind it. You see what I'm saying? Now, of course, don't get it twisted. Some people's situations are worse than others. Some people, it's not even that deep. I understand that some people can have a little bit of loose skin, you know what I mean, on the stomach area, and it's really not that deep. No worries. But when it's like your arms are dangling, if you can afford the surgery, skin removal, bloody have it. But hey, just my own opinion. We continue.
The scene and I crossed the finish line. I'm feeling like $1,000,000. I am excited and I feel accomplished.
You know, last episode Ashley was, well, no, I think 2 episodes back, Ashley was being a complete tool, you know. There was a fit farm. She barely even wanted to walk, like literally a few steps to a bridge, whatever, right? But to see these ladies finish fit farm, come in, do the 5K walk, and you got Vanessa, Ashley, and Tina who've been able to finish it successfully. It was brilliant. Now Meghan did finish it, just that Meghan finished it hours after everybody else by the looks of it, you know what I mean? Obviously these girls did themselves, but honestly, that is a big step for Ashley, to be fair with you, because before she was making a hoo-ha about it, but to do 5K, you know, with all the years of them basically not even walking, not being mobile, all that kind of stuff, congratulations, you know what I mean? That is that. And I ain't gonna front of you, man. I'm hella impressed, because actually, I was gonna say I don't see myself doing 5K, but that's a lie. That's a lie. I've done 40K. I've done 40K steps before in a day. You know what I mean? I believe I covered like I think it was around about 19 between 19 to 20 kilometer. What did I do again? Hold on a minute. Ah, yes, I found it. My impressive score once upon a time. Look at that. I was only one bloody day. You know what I'm saying? Man down to madness, you know. yeah, that was one hell of a day. Crazy, because I didn't even do it intentionally. Just I took a day trip and I ended up walking for the whole bloody day. It was madness. My feet came back. My feet were sore. But my plane ride home, oh god, I slept like a baby. Beautiful. Yep. Anyway, with that being said though, ladies and gentlemen, thank you so much for your time. Let me know what you're thinking down below in the comment section. Please do hit the subscribe button. Also check us out on Patreon as well. And yeah, we're done, we're out, and peace.